Welcome to a Telltale Books video. I'm Greg, and I'm going to continue my series of Robert Silverberg, trying to read through everything I can get my hands on by Robert Silverberg in order of publication. And I am now up to his 9th published work, which was published in March of 1956 in Nebula Science Fiction, issue number 16, and is titled Always. Now, I don't have a copy of the magazine where this appeared, and to the best of my knowledge, this story has never been collected or anthologized, so you have to have a copy of the magazine. I don't have a physical copy, I should say. You have to have a copy of the magazine of Nebula Science Fiction in order to read this, and so I found free PDF online and read it in that, and it is only a short story. And what happens in the story, guy by the name of Marks, Mr. Marks, I forget what his first name was. He wins a prize on a TV game show. And he's won prizes on this show before. Lots of people enter this remotely, kind of almost like an internet kind of thing, except it is television. But he has won other smaller prizes on this show. But this time he wins the big prize. And this is in the future. The big prize is his very own planet. It's a planet orbiting the star Procyon. I hope I pronounced that right. So he gets this whole world. And it's supposedly uninhabited. So he goes there and he finds out there is at least one inhabitant. And I won't say anything more about the synopsis from there. It's a fun, interesting little story. Short science fiction story, kind of a twist ending, which I won't spoil for you. It's worth reading. It's nothing great. It's definitely not a top tale, but it is, like I say, it's a fun little story. It's worth the small amount of time it takes to read through it. Like a lot of stories that were published in the 1950s, that seems to be so common to have these Twilight Zone-esque twist ending stories. All of the authors seem to be writing that sort of thing, and this was before Twilight Zone was ever aired. So it was a thing back then. It was a big thing. Everybody was doing it. Everybody was publishing it. This one, you have to suspend some disbelief. I mean, the idea that someone would be given a whole planet and then just taken there to live seems impractical, both from a financial standpoint and from just the standpoint that, it's a whole world. And if it's a habitable planet and they know they thought there weren't any native intelligent species on this planet, and it was all fertile farmland and stuff. I mean, why would they just hand it over to somebody on a TV game show? So you have to suspend some disbelief. But if you kind of overlook those nitpicky kinds of things, it's a fun story, and nothing about this that I don't feel there's anything here that seems particularly dated, and I don't think there's anything here that is at all offensive. It all seems fine. I think it's a story that, if you change it from TV to the internet, you could write it today successfully and pretty much keep the same story. So worth reading, and I suggest you look it up, even though it's a little difficult to get a hold of. Well, not really difficult, but you can't go to Barnes and Noble and buy this. but you can easily get it for free on the internet. So it's not that hard and won't take you that much of your time. And that's all I can really say about it. Have you read Always? Seems an obscure enough story that I probably won't find anybody out there that knows this story. But if you have, or if you just have other comments about Robert Silverberg you'd like to tell us, leave it in our comments section. Don't leave comments about not liking our format or our technology or whatever for these videos. It is what it is. I'm not going to change it. I don't have money to improve the technology. I don't have interest in putting all kinds of special effects pictures up here. You know, you either like our videos or you don't. And I'm not going to do a whole lot of changes unless I see things that are things that I can change and want to change. We do kind of see this kind of like a book club. I mean, the idea originally was to be me and Emily always here. Well, her schedule keeps her from doing as much reading as I do, and I don't want to wait for her all the time, so I do a lot of them by myself. But the idea here is like we're talking at a book club and talking about what we've read. That's the concept of our videos, and we're not changing that. So thank you for wanting to help us, but we're probably not going to be interested in those kinds of comments. And some of them I'm just going to delete if there's something that, telling me I need to buy a more expensive microphone. Screw that. I don't have the money. It's just not going to happen. So those comments will just be deleted. Anyway, I very, very much love all of the comments I've been getting about the stories and about the authors, especially ones that have some unique thoughts about the story. I got one, I think it was on one of the Stephen King stories recently, where the person had a perspective on it that I didn't think of, and I absolutely love hearing that. That's the kind of comments I want. Leave those, please. Leave those kinds of thoughts. And beyond that, I will continue my Robert Silverberg series. Number 10 is a story called No Future in This. It's a novelette. It was written with Randall Garrett and published in May 1956. That'll be my next Robert Silverberg video. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Come on back for all the rest of Robert Silverberg and all the other authors I talk about. And hopefully, if you're watching this, especially at the end here, hopefully you do like how we're doing things, and we'll continue coming back.